Good morning, Year 3. Mr. Grocott here again with some more maths for you. Going to start off with our Flashback 4, and then today we're moving on to comparing fractions. So let's begin. So, number 1. Complete the equivalent fractions. We've got 3/12 here, and it's equivalent to 1 something. Well, there's 1 shaded in out of 4. So the answer is nice and simple. It's 3/12 is equal to 1/4. Number 2. Use these symbols to compare 3/4 of 12 and 5/8 of 16. Well, let's figure this out. 3/4 of 12. So we're going to do 12 divided by 4, which is 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. So 3/4 of 12 is 9. So let's just put that's 9 next to this so we don't forget. And then we've got 5/8 of 16. Well, 16 divided by 8 is 2, times by 5 is 10. So 5/8 of 16 is 10. And that means 10 is greater than 9, so I need to use this symbol. And we'll discuss a bit more about those symbols in a minute, if you can't remember what they are. Number 3 says write 7/10 as a decimal. Well, that's basically the same as doing 7 divided by 10, which is 0.7. My 7 has gone down 1 in our place value grid. It's gone from the ones into the tenths, so it's 0.7. Number 4 says divide 48 by 8. Well, if you practice your 8 times tables, you'll know this. If not, do 8 times 10, which is 80, divided by 2, so 8 times 5 is 40. Add another 8 is 48, which means 48 divided by 8 is 6. Nice and easy. Okay, moving on to today's lesson then. We've got here 5/7 and 2/7. Now I want to know, is 5/7 greater than or smaller than 2/7? So, for this, I'm going to need my crocodile symbols. And if you're wondering which crocodile symbol do I use, remember, the crocodile will always face the bigger number, or in this case, fraction. The crocodile always wants the bigger meal, okay? The equal symbol means that they're the same, they're equivalent, they're equal. So let's have a look. We've got 5/7 and 2/7. We can use a bar model to help us, so I could shade 2/7 in on one of them. And shade in 5/7 on the other one. Not very neat, but it gets the job done. And obviously we can see that 5/7 is greater. So we would use this symbol. Because my crocodile will want to eat the 5/7 rather than the 2/7. And then here, I just write, is greater than 2/7. Okay, so moving on. Now, I've got here 3 questions for you to try. We don't need to use a bar model for these. I don't see the point personally, because these are easy. The denominators are the same. The only thing that's different is the numerator. And you can tell me if 4 is greater or smaller than 8. So I'm going to do the first one. It's nice and easy. 8/9 is bigger than 4/9. If you'd like to take a minute now to pause this video and to have a go at the next two yourselves, you now have that option. And welcome back if you decided to pause. So, let's see if you got the next 2 questions right. We've got 5/10 and 4/10. Well, 5 is bigger than 4. Simple. The next one, 2/4 and 5/4. 5 is obviously bigger than 2. 5/4 is the greater fraction. Okay, really easy. It gets a bit more difficult when we have different denominators. So here we have 1/7. Is it greater or smaller than 1/5? Now, if you can remember back when we did this in lesson, we had a very, very important rule, which is this. The greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction. Okay, now that's my very, very, very important golden rule. I'm going to make it gold as well to really highlight that it's the golden rule. I don't think I have a gold colour, so I'm just going to turn it orange. That's the closest thing I've got. The greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So which denominator is greater? Is it a 7th or the 5th? Well, 7's a greater denominator. They're both unit fractions, so we don't need to worry about the numerator. So the greater denominator, the smaller fraction. 1/7 is smaller than a 5th. So my crocodile will want to eat my 5th. 1/7 is less than or smaller than 1/5. Okay. As long as you remember that golden rule, these will not be difficult. So, same again, I've done the first one. You can now take this moment to pause and have a go at the next two. And welcome back if you paused. So, let's have a look. We've got a half and a third. Well, a third is the greater denominator, which means it's smaller. So a half is bigger. We've then got a quarter and a 9th. The 9th is the bigger denominator, which means it's the smaller fraction, which means a quarter is bigger than a 9th. Nice and easy. So, that's all you need to know in order to do today's work. Read the questions carefully. Make sure you're checking the fractions carefully, checking those denominators, checking those numerators, and you will have no problems with this work. As always, there is a link here to show you where this work is found. There's another video if you need to go through it again. We send this document, Silver today is questions 1 to 4. Gold is 5 to 7. Platinum's on a separate sheet. Have fun!